Outer Orange.
Yeah, Nemo sleeves, let's go. I have this in my Grand Blue deck right now, actually. I've been testing Beatrice with the brand new, I don't thank you, with Mick the Ghosty. Chat of the hour right here. White, please. There we go, it's a little better. But anyway, this is Mick the Ghosty. I've been testing Beatrice quite a lot. I pretty much dropped any other clan right now. How's the Mick testing? It's been really well. I did misplace the timing a little bit on Mick because I'm so used to the old Mick. So I had to change the deck a little bit. Not too much, but I did make some small adjustments. For Mick the Ghosty, for some reason I thought his 10k activates after he mills, but it actually activates after he's retired. And I was thinking more like old Mick the Ghosty, where it activates like after his abilities pretty much resolved. But in this case, you do need to retire first, which just changes the pacing of the deck a little bit. But so far it's been really good. The deck still beats maidens for whatever freaking reason. So that's still a thing. I tested it last night a little bit. It doesn't change too much. You do have to play more carefully. Sorry, my glasses are very... You have to play more carefully. You can still set up pretty well. There's so many lines of play now, so I'm kind of, you know, I might as well just like ignore my Beatrice. Or I mean, you don't have, I mean, not my Beatrice, my my Pacifica. She was in my, I couldn't find her for a little bit, and then I found her. She was with my Grand Blue stuff this whole time. So now like my premium Grand Blue stuff, and now I put her in with my V Grand Blue stuff. Yeah, it is best girl. I know a lot of people hate this art, but I still really like it. But just for respecting other people, I'm not gonna like sit here and show it off for like 10 hours. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into like hard details about this right now because I'm still kind of testing it. I was gonna make like a small video sort of talking about it. The deck still stays about the same, but the difference is you really need to be careful with your setup, and your lines of play do matter even more than they did before. If you've played Beatrice before, you kind of know that this deck has a lot of braining. One mistake will probably cost you the game, and that's the only thing I don't like about the deck, but it's also the upside because it's a very rewarding deck. I might actually add 4 crits in here, but it's very risky. The deck still has a huge hand size issue. Deck is still very CB heavy. There's still just underlining issues within it, but it is performing better. I will say Mick right now is actually quite the MVP. This card is definitely helping. I was running lazy. This I added at like 4 copies. I did cut this back a little bit because when I realized that the timing is different, it made this card worse. I still don't run Columbard though, because I still don't think you need Columbard. Another MVP of the deck that came in super handy in all the games I've played was actually this card right here, wherever it is. I only have 1 copy of it, so I actually have to find it. This guy. So this is a very underrated card that so many people just don't even know this card exists. This is Ben the Ghosty, and my golly goodness, is this card the MVP. I didn't realize putting him in would be so crucial, but just to give you guys like a short example, you can like ride up to Damien, you know, mill out whatever. You can mill out whatever you want, or you can ride up to Damien and min Ben out if you want, and it will activate. You'll get the soul. But ideally what you want to do is you actually want to ride up to Tommy the Ghosty. So you have a Damien in hand. You keep them in your hand. You do your normal thing. You ride up to Jesse, and then you call Damien like over here, for example, and you use Damien's skill to mill out Ben. Wherever the heck I put him. You mill out Ben, and Ben's skill will activate Soul Blasting a Ghosty unit, calling himself out. And then if you really want to do some wild stuff, you could probably do something like this, and then call Mick out, and then build 2 more cards, and then have your setup this way. And then you swing this way. When he retires, you give the 10k to something else, and then you just kind of go ballistic from there. So just a little funny thing you can do. Another thing that's really good, say you do happen to ride like a useful card. Say you ride Jesse. Say you ride like Damien and then Jesse, and then you ride Beatrice. If you Soul Blast 1 card out, you still have your other piece stuck in the deck. So if you happen to have another Damien, you can Damien and then call this guy out, and then Soul Blast this card out, and now you have your full combo just sitting in your drop zone ready to go. And this is very crucial because there's a lot of games that even in the past that happens to me where I'm just kind of stuck in. I know 2 soul sounds heavy, but actually the 2 soul is like very whatever. You don't, after this point, unless you're riding again, you're never soul blasting again. There's nothing else that's soul blast in the deck. And of course, if you're riding on top, you'll just soul blast the Beatrice. Like, you'll always have the extra soul just kind of stuck there, unless you like for some reason call Negrabone, call Beatrice, and use Beatrice skill to call something else. You can do that, but the chances of that happening is very small. I don't run Columbard, but even if you were to run Columbard and go from Columbard to Beatrice to something, that happens so rarely, and even then you'll still have that extra soul to work with in case you do need to do that play. So overall, this sets up really well. Mick helps the issue that Navigator was replacing pretty much. I used to have 2 builds of Beatrice. One was early aggro mill, and one was control I sit tight builds. The control sit tight build pretty much ran these two cards at max 4 copies, this at max 4 copies, and then the last card was actually Pat. So the idea behind it was that you just sit there and you just can't kill me. The downside is it's a really slow deck. You're not milling, you're not doing anything. But before, instead of like say Tommy's, I would run Navigator instead to just apply as much pressure as possible, mill my deck out as quickly as possible, and go. Now something I do want to know, so another thing that's really interesting, on your turn 2, if your opponent gives you a damage, so say they give you a damage, and you have a Jesse on the board, and you have Mick on the board, and maybe it's something like this. Say you have a setup like this. Say back here you like navigated like to hell, and you have exactly 10 in your drop. So you have 10 in your drop. When you would do this, when you swing with this side, you can let this die. Oh, sorry, you would want it like this then. You would let this die after, and then you would use on Vanguard skill, you would counterblast and recall him back out. And it's kind of weird, but it's something you can do, or you can stay on boosted, or you know, like maybe here you do where they call him out, or if you, in case you already have one on the board, you can, in case you already have one in drop, you can like have another one ready to go. Like you can kind of do something, you can do 4 attacks on turn 2, and then last but not least, you can actually swing with Jesse and then counter charge it back, which is very interesting. It's a very weird approach. You really need to set up your numbers correctly, but if you do it correctly, you can actually get away with that. You need to talk. Hey, what's up, Shuzan? But yeah, there's some weird funky stuff you can do. You can have 4 attacks on turn 2 now. I'm just clarifying for myself. It says when your Vanguard attacks, if you have 10 or more in drop, you can counterblast call a guard to an open rearguard circle. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be an open rearguard circle, so something has to retire here. So you can like swing with Jesse and then call you can call like when the Jesse dies, you can call here, but you'll have one counterblast face down. But you know, you could just set up. It is something you could do. It's a little risky. You have to really either high roll early, cards in hand, and your answer is 0 because this deck has literally no hand. Even if I were to like stay conservative like this, like say my hand is something like this, you know, once you ride up to your Beatrice and you know you call out your like whatever from drop, and then you call a full board out again. No, this isn't premium. Long story short, your hand will DP pretty fast, but the bright side is you have interceptors that will come out from this, so that's the upside. But yeah, this is V. We're talking about V. So the thing about this deck is that it's not so much about the fact that your hand is small, it's about the fact that your shield is high. And then if you're not facing like retired decks or whatever, these intercepts are 15k shields, and then if you're going protect 2, they get even higher. In this case, this would be 25. This would be 15. That's 40 shield right there. That's already blocking pretty much 2 attacks. This will block 1 attack guaranteed. This might block another attack, you know, and your hand will also have these types of cards in your hand. Your hand will have them too. So, you know, you might have a 4-card hand, but it's like a 4-card hand with like 80 to 90k shield in it. So that's even this is shield. So something to keep in mind. So it is very nice right now, especially with the no guard restrict being active. Beatrice 100% I think is very easy into maidens now. I think there's nothing really stopping that matchup. I actually played at locals yesterday, and it was kind of my practice run. I didn't do too hot. I went 1-2, but it was out of 3 games, and usually Mondays are like our less competitive days. And my first match was into Steam Maidens. I completely destroyed him. There was literally nothing that man could do. Like he just got completely just annihilated. I swung like 11 times, and yeah, he just couldn't guard. He just died. And then me, I did barely survive his big turn because my shield was okay. It was just okay, but I had like very low damage, so I had room to take. I was more scared of a crit coming out of nowhere. That would have maybe been kind of troublesome, but otherwise I was fine. And then the game after that, I faced Gurgit actually, and man kept healing, and I super low rolled. I had all triggers in my hand and no units, so I just did nothing turn after turn after turn. So that game in specifically, I couldn't have done anything to really help myself. Like it was just one of those games where I didn't open Mick, I didn't open Greedshade, I didn't open Damien, I didn't open anything. Hey, what's up? Hi Ninja, welcome. Yeah, it is our less competitive days, but we did have like, well, by less competitive, what I mean is we have a way smaller group on Mondays. It's usually like 8 to 15-ish people. It's just relatively pretty small. And on top of that, usually people are not so sweaty. They're kind of more vibing. However, we did have our two Worlds players, the people that are participating in Worlds there. Though they weren't actually, I don't know if I remember correctly, I don't think they were playing Steam Maidens. But the other thing is we were still playing the banless Steam Maidens, so it was pretty good. Yeah, welcome, what's up? So it wasn't like anything too ridiculous. But like I said, next person I faced was Gurgi. Like I said, Gurgi was pretty rough. I missed my entire deck just didn't function, so that was just, and I almost won that game actually. And he already had like 4 Excel markers on the board. I decked out to him before I actually officially lost, if that makes sense. So I survived for a long time. I just couldn't apply pressure fast enough. He was healing as well, and I just got really boned by that. And my last game was actually against a Mega Colony player who just had perfect guards for days, and I G assisted. I whiffed G assist, and then I had to pretty much just chill a turn. So my last 2 games are more bricky games than they were my deck not playing correctly. So I did misplay a little bit. It was a milling Mega Colony deck, and I said I'm gonna activate mixed skill. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna activate mixed skill. And then as I started to proceed, look at my top card, I realized that that's a bad move, but I had already seen the top card, so I had to proceed with the mill. So I just said, screw it, whatever. Might be worth trying a couple Calm Bar just for the in-case situations like the one you explained. See, the thing about it is, like, I don't even know if Calm Bar would have saved me there. Every counterblast mattered, and I needed to open, like, everything. I'll see though, I might put him back in and drop, now that I know how Mick works properly, I might just drop. I don't have a lurk option, but go for it. Enjoy. I have a lurk emo actually, but I think you need to be a tier person thingy for it. Here, I'll do it for you. There you go. So I might, now that I know how Mick properly works, I have been thinking about cutting this card back and putting back Columbard, but it's I really need to think just how useful Columbard is, because something I did notice very quickly was my counterblasts were going by really fast, even if I was like, you know, at 3 starting. Sometimes I'd end up like this, and I just noticed my CB was going pretty quickly. And the thing is like, you kind of need to apply pressure to kill. I'm not saying go ballistic, like don't just go through all your counterblasts, but does help into the Jesse Mick 4 attack turn. It does help with that. And now that I'm more aware of Mick, I definitely think I can probably put back Columbard. Maybe I'll try that out now. Maybe I'll just take Bone out completely. I will say one thing that Bone has really helped with is creating a board for doing nothing. Something you'll notice very quickly is that your hand is small and you don't want to use it that much, so getting 2 cards out for the cost of 1 essentially does really help, because you can then destroy both of them and call out Jesse, which is the card you want on the board, and then it also kills Mick in the process. Well, Mick actually is on battle now, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll just cut back this. Looks like I actually have my Columbards on me because I've been switching them in and out the last couple of days. I don't like Columbard at 4, but I don't mind it at 2. Looks like I'm gonna grab ways to piss off a card player. Run 2 different things of the same card. I like them both so much for their own reasons that I do this all the time. Like I like the way they did the congratulations, and also the actual texture on this card is a little different. But this one is an SP obviously, so I like it because it's an SP. But yeah, it does piss off anybody with OCD. I've been doing this for a while because I've been competing with 2 Columbars for a while. So ever since this has dropped, I've been playing it like this. You want to know a really funny story about this card? I can't remember the opponent. I was playing BCF Premium, and I rode this card, and the person just instantly went, the person was like, yeah, joking, they're like, it's the congratulations Columbard card, right? And I'm just like, yeah, it is. And the guy was just like, you must be a really good player. And I'm just sitting there quietly. I'm not gonna say I bought it. I'm just gonna let the man assume. It cracked me up so much. People are so funny. Man was scared. He saw that, he was like, oh, I'm not messing with the regular player. This isn't a regular player. This is some kind of extra person here. We've been winning a shop challenge. Anyway, yeah, that's Beatrice. Still figuring it out. I'll test the Columbard strat, see how that works, because yes, that would probably have helped my unbricking just a little bit. No one really denies, because they usually know I'm playing ghosties. Everyone in my shop knows I just don't like Night Rose very much. Yeah, she's yeah, I got best girl deck box, and then I got best girl broken in here. So I actually do something really funny. So you know how I have my Pacifica here? I actually have her peek out the window. I do this all the time when I'm competing. I usually have something I like peek out the window like that. So it's just so cute. Yeah, this is how I came in on Monday, just like this. You have do I have Nino? Do I have Nino? I have this one. I have this one right here. This one's actually broken. They sent it to me broken and then they let me keep it. Can't really explain it. So I got it for free. So that was really cool. I think I like the color of this one. I like the purple with the pink. So my DP is actually in here. My premium Dementia Police is chilling in here. I thought those were Vice decks that I see a giant. Yeah, they are. I mean, not second best girl. I think these are meant for Vice. Yeah, I've just used them for premium because look at this. Like, oh man, look at that. All that fit. Every single last bit of my premium just like fits in there. It's freaking amazing. This is beautiful. This is what I like out of deck boxes. This is the main reason I get these actually, because it fits everything. But yeah, it just fits it all. I could put it back in. It's a great time. I recommend it. What's up Spec? Sorry, randomly off topic. I know we just spent like 20 minutes talking about freaking Grand Blue.